Yo, yo, yo. What up, what up, what up, fans of the sport? I'm Mike. Like they say down here in ATL, I'm Mike, right? Oh, man. This is Lamech here with Selah Sports TV. And let's talk about boxing, man. Let's talk about boxing because to be honest with you, I'm tired of boxing, bro. Boxing ain't even boxing no more, man. Not to me. Like if you grew up on boxing and you're not a I'm not trying to pick on you millennials, but you know, if you uh if you grew up kind of in the 80s, 90s and you know, and not so much just growing up, but you were around people that know about boxing, so you know, people that go back to, you know, the Leonards and Hagler and you know, those guys. The golden age of boxing. If you grew up anywhere around that, there's no way you can there's no way you can look at these guys, most of them, today, with the same level of respect. They don't carry themselves the same way. This guy that you see here on the screen here, man, he really let me down, man. You know, like if we just go back a few years, uh, like this guy was like he was one of the hottest names in boxing. Now, if we dig a little bit deeper in that, we'll know why he was the hottest name in boxing. You know, but regardless of why he was that. He was a hot name in boxing, right? He's, you know, saying strap season and he's getting up on podiums and he's calling guys out, you know, and we're thinking we're gonna get the fights that we want to see, you know. Um, but he's just not that guy. He is not that guy, you know. I understand he got you know, a lot of Texas fanboys out there, and really doesn't matter what he does. They're gonna back him up. I get it, you know. But let's talk about it. This guy, Errol Spence, is not. He's just not what we thought he was. Even if you're a fan, you can be a fan, but you cannot say that he's like this boogeyman. Like he had a reputation of a boogeyman. Um, Due to the the myths that came out of the Mayweather gym and how he gave Floyd Mayweather work and did this and did that with Floyd Mayweather, and he owes a lot of his popularity to Floyd Mayweather because I don't without those sparring stories, I don't think his legend grows. I can well maybe I'm jumping the gun calling him a legend, but I don't think his name would be as big had it not been for those sparring stories. Kudos and props to him for that, and props to to Mayweather for allowing him to do that, to use his name in that way. You know, um, props to both those guys. But I gotta tell you, man, like even through the car accident and you know everything he's been through, um, I kind of was still kind of supporting him, you know, still kind of in his corner. But this thing here, you know, now Ugas, he had a fight with Manny Pacquiao. This guy had a fight with Manny Pacquiao and pulled out of it, right, due to some eye injury. Okay, um, Not sure if I believe the eye injury stories. And I'm just freestyling here, so I will be going all over the place. Like, we're just gonna talk. I'm just talking, okay? Eye injury. Now we saw him pull out of that fight with Manny Pacquiao. With the eye injury, he allowed Ugas to go forward and go pick up that belt, right? Or to keep that belt, I should say, because Pacquiao was stripped due to inactivity. He was stripped by the WBA, so Ugas had the belt. Ugas beat Pacquiao, retired Pacquiao, beat up the old man in, you know, fairly impressive fashion. I won't say like, definitely didn't blow his doors off. Um, he did just enough to win, basically. Did just enough to where they couldn't screw him out of the win. And Ugas got the victory. Good job, right? Right after that fight, the injured man, Spence, just pops out of nowhere. Yeah, I want to fight Ugas. I want to fight Ugas. Like, what? I thought you were hurt, bruh. I thought you had like an eye injury. That's pretty fucking serious in boxing, man. That's pretty fucking serious in the sport of boxing. But as soon as Ugas went and got that belt, this guy comes out of nowhere saying he's ready to fight. Now, for a lot of you fanboys, that works because it's convenient. You don't care about what's real and what ain't. You're just a fan of the guy. So it doesn't really matter. Like, as long you're one of his bitches. So it doesn't really matter what he does. You're gonna be in his corner. Right? Doesn't matter if he tells the truth. Doesn't matter if he's ducking guys. Doesn't matter if he's making up injuries to pull out a fighting a 40-plus-year-old man, letting somebody else do the dirty work. And here, as soon as he does, he comes out of nowhere. And I'm gonna tell you what's funny about it. After Ugas beat Pacquiao, the WBA had a fight lined up for him. He was supposed to participate in a tournament. He was supposed to participate in a 4-man tournament. And all we heard from the time that fight was announced was Ugas kicking and screaming, trying to get out of that fight. I mean, kicking, screaming, scratching, like yelling to get out of the fight. Crying racism to get out of the fight. Right? Right? Now, let's stay right there. Because Ugas was ordered to participate in this tournament. At the time, Spence, hey, you're talking about fighting Ugas. That must mean you're back. You're back. So instead of him saying, all right, I'm healthy, I'm back, Ugas has somebody to fight, there's another champion that I could be fighting, let me call him out. No, he didn't do that, did he? He didn't do that. He was locked on to Ugas. It had to be Ugas. To the point where these dudes cried so much, he paid Ugas' opponent to get out of that fight so he could fight Ugas. A fight that we don't want to see. A fight that nobody wants to see. I'm done with this guy, man. This guy's trash. And I'm not even talking about his style, because here's his style. Let me talk about his style real quick. His style is basic as fuck. Okay? His style, I don't see any nuance to his game. I see nothing special. I don't see anything special defensively. I don't see anything special offensively. Now, what I will give him, he has some gifts. Nothing special, though. He's good at He's good at coming at you sideways and giving you a kind of a slender target to hit. I mean, that's basic shit. His feet are not fast. His hands are not fast, right? He's draining himself down to fight at 147 to fight smaller guys. And even though he's doing that, he's still fighting smaller guys. Like Ugas is the first time that I've seen him fight a guy that's about his size. Ugas is the only one that he's fought that's about his size so far. Well, Kell Brook. But Kell Brook was injured, and we all know it. And Kell Brook was touching him up. Okay? Not impressed with this guy. Not impressed at all. As for the Ugas fight, I just don't feel like, I mean, with everything that's going on, these guys are not good at hiding their intentions. Okay? This just looks like a screw job to me. It looks like Ugas is just participating. Maybe he got some promises, you know, made to him under the table type stuff. You know, if you do this, like maybe we'll bring some more of your folks over here from, I don't know what it is. Maybe we'll pay you this under the table. But Ugas's behavior is very, like, he's defending Errol Spence. He's defending Errol Spence, the guy he's supposed to be going into the ring trying to kill. He's been defending Errol Spence more than Errol Spence has been defending himself. This is the type shit that people are sick of in the sport of boxing. And honestly, it makes me sick, man. Like, to the point where I'm not buying the Errol Spence fight. I'm not buying it. And here's the thing. It's a good fight. But I'm not buying it off of GP, off of principle, because I don't like this. I don't like the way these guys move. I'm a man of principle. I don't just do things just to do it. This isn't the fight we want to see. And you got up there on that podium drunk. You talked all that shit calling out Terrence Crawford. But ever since then, you've done everything to avoid the fight. I'm gonna give him 80-20. I'm gonna give him 80-20. I'm gonna give him 90-10. I'm gonna give him 90-10. Like, just say you don't want to fight him. Or better yet, keep dudes' names out of your mouth if you don't want to fight. Like, that's not cool, man. Like, if we was on the street, that's not cool. Like, if I'm cool, if I got a friend, right? And this is a friend, a buddy, right? Somebody that I'm cool with. But every time we hanging out, he's always telling me how he's gonna kick somebody's ass, some other guy's ass, right? But then we go out and we see the guy and he's doing everything to get away from the guy. You think I'm gonna respect him? Friend or no friend? You think I'm gonna respect that? You think I'm not gonna say nothing? Hey, bro, there he is. What? I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something. And it's not a peer pressure, oh, you gotta fight him. No, it's more like, watch your fucking mouth. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't lie to me, dude. Nobody likes being lied to. That's enough of this cocksucker, man. He's we'll see what happens in the Ugas fight. I tell you what though. His plan better be to pressure Ugas. Like, to overwhelm Ugas. That has to be the plan. If you get in there trying to box this guy, you might get embarrassed. Might get embarrassed. So, we'll see. We'll see. Of course, there's more. There's more. There's more going on in boxing, right? There's more stuff going on in boxing. And unfortunately, most of it isn't good. This motherfucker. This motherfucker. Same, almost the same type of scenario that we're talking about. Big time shit talker, right? Big time shit talker, weak resume. Like, pathetically weak resume. For this guy to have the bluster, to come with the bluster that he comes with, to say the things that he says, boy, your resume is not impressive at all. And I know his fans are his fans may be the biggest fanboys in boxing because these guys now before the Wilder fight, especially before the second and third Wilder fights, these guys were trashing Wilder. Wilder's trash. He can't box. He's terrible. All true. Wilder is trash, and Wilder can't box. Wilder has no durability. He has one punch. He's not a boxer. He's just not. But it's funny how the Fury fans knew that before the second and especially the third fight. But after the third fight, instantly Wilder is elevated to some legend. He's not. Why? Because he knocked down Tyson Fury twice in a round. Fury looked like shit in that fight. Fury looked like shit in that fight. That's why he got knocked down twice. It's not because Wilder did something special. He didn't. He didn't do anything special. Wilder has no punch resistance, and it took Fury a while to get him out of there. He's primed to be exposed. He's primed to be exposed, which is why he's avoiding Dillian White. Here's another instance where you're trying to lowball a guy to get out of the fight. Like these are the tactics that are being used in boxing. I don't want to fight this guy, so I'll offer him 15%. I'll offer him 20%, knowing good and damn well Dillian White is a bigger star as far as marketability. He's a bigger star. He's sold more fights in the UK than Tyson Fury has. Tyson Fury is not an entertaining fighter. I got it. I get it. He got on his front foot against Wilder. He could do that against Wilder. It's not many guys he can go in there and try to do that against without getting hurt. He did that against Wilder because there was only one threat, one punch coming back. If he tried to rush Dillian White like that, it would be a short fight. And he'd lose. And he knows that. With this type of body, you don't beat a Dillian White with that body, okay? You don't. And sometimes Dillian White, he can come in a little hefty, right? But it's a difference. It's a difference. I haven't seen Dillian White come in like that in a while. This guy is a fraud. He's a fraud. He's not what people think he is. That's why he's kicking, screaming, scratching, clawing to get out of this Dillian White fight. And then his friends, Dillian White's nothing. He's a bum. He's nothing. Like, if Dillian White is nothing, what are you talking about? Who's something then? Dillian White is definitely something in boxing. I'd say he's an A-level fighter. A or B plus, at least B plus. I'd say he's an A-level fighter. Does that mean he doesn't have any weaknesses? No, doesn't mean that at all. But he's doing everything so he can get the favorable matchup with Alexander Usyk, the little guy. That's the fight he wants. He always wants the easy fucking fights. And then now he's putting on his act like he's some fucking cash cow. Like, how many fights, how many people watched the Otto Wallen fight? How many people watched that fight? How many people bought tickets to that fight? How many people bought tickets to the Tom Schwartz fight? How many people watched it? Like, dude, you ain't no star. You got the mouth of a star. You talk a lot of shit, but end of the day, nah, bro. Nah. I give him props for one thing. He went out and got the perfect trainer to help him beat Deontay Wilder. Now, every fighter is not gonna have the same weaknesses as Deontay Wilder. So I would love to see him try that with a guy like Dillian White. I just hope he finds his balls and takes the fight, the Dillian White fight. Because again, it's not about whether you think he can win, what you think about Dillian White. It's the fact that it's the right thing to do. Dillian White's been a mandatory. He was avoided. He was avoided by Wilder for 2 or 3 years. Now here comes a whole different champion avoiding the same guy. That's not fair. It doesn't matter what you think about him. He's a Mando. He's a Mando. Like, champions have to fight their mandatories. You don't get to. And the WBC is just they're destroying boxing, bro. Yeah, I got a bunch of complaints about boxing. It's horrible. Boxing needs a fucking league because these guys will not do the right thing. They won't do the right thing by each other, and they won't do the right thing by the fans. So, yeah, like, if he doesn't fight Dillian White, guess what? I will go to a bar and watch the fight. I won't be buying it. I'm not buying it. I'll go to a bar, sports bar, where I can watch the fight for free, where they just got it playing, and I'll watch it that way. I'm not buying fights. Like, it's one thing. I'm not saying I'm not a little emperor here. Like, well, I got to get my way on everything. No, but right is right and wrong is wrong. Now, as for Spence, he talked all that shit. He knows that's the biggest fight in boxing, and he's going everywhere else except in that direction, trying to age out a guy. So no, that ain't cool. And this guy avoiding Dillian White, same deal. It's trash. It's fucking trash, bro. Boxing needs a fucking league. They do this stuff because we accept it. I don't have a major issue with this Irishman here. This Irish dude right here, man, is a fighting motherfucker. Okay? This motherfucker, he's a counter punching, like, he's the type of guy you gotta think before you throw a punch with him. And you better have your next few plays lined up before you even throw the punch, because he does. Like, he's one of the best counter punchers I've ever seen. Okay? Great fighter. The problem is, I don't think his confidence in himself is as high as my confidence is in him. Why? Guess why? He will not give us any fights that we actually want to see. Hell bent on not giving us the fight we want to see. he has gotten a pass because yeah, he chased down undisputed. He chose to chase down undisputed at 168. You know, that's where he wanted undisputed. I think that's where he wanted undisputed because that's where the easier marks were. It was going to be easier to get undisputed at 168 than it was at 160. At 160, he would have had to go through a lot tougher competition than he did at 168. Don't believe me? Let's put. Now, I'm not a big Charlo guy, but let's still, I mean, I got to call a spade, right? You got Charlo, Andrade, and Triple G at 160, and Jaime Munguia at 160. At 168, you had Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, and Caleb Plant. Now you tell me which set is more tailor made for him to run through. 168, of course. So that's where he went. That's where he went. Not impressed, man. But that ain't even it. Because if that was, you know, I get off his back a little bit. But right after he does that, he jumps all he said he wants just to jump all the way up there to cruiserweight. He wants to jump all the way up there to cruiserweight to fight. To fight who? Who's he wanted to jump up there to fight? He didn't want to jump up there to fight Breedis. He didn't want to jump up there to fight Lawrence Okoli. No, he wants to fight the guy we don't know. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just don't see the confidence in him. I don't. He's nickel and diming us. Yes, he beat Kovalev, but he beat Kovalev like on a quick turnaround after a rough fight with Anthony Yarde. Kovalev went life and death with Anthony Yarde, and Canelo basically comes in and fights him like 2 months later. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing the guy wasn't ready with the weight stipulation on him too. Shit like that does not spell confidence. That's what I'm saying. It's not so much that I don't think he's good. I think he's a great fighter. I'm not convinced that he thinks he's as good as I think, and definitely his fans. Like, this motherfucker's fans, like these guys, man. Woo, his fans, man. You talk about toxic. Good God. Toxic fan base, bro. Extremely toxic fan base. But that's okay. That's okay. The main thing that I have with him, and I'm being real preemptive with this one because this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that this motherfucker's gonna come back and fight Anthony Durrell. He's gonna come back and fight Anthony Durrell, a guy that David Benavidez has already knocked out. Right? He's gonna fight again. It's just they will not give us the fights we want to see. I got a problem with that, man. You think I'm gonna buy a Canelo versus Anthony Durrell fight? Nah, I'm not. I'm not buying a Makabu fight because it's not what I want to see. I'm just one guy, so I get it. Like, people probably like, all right, you're not gonna buy it. Big deal. All right, yeah, fine, big deal, no problem. I'm okay with that. But I guarantee you, I won't be the only one. People are getting tired of this shit. People are really getting tired of the fuckery in boxing. Like, these guys are entertainers, but they're acting like they're doing us a favor. You're not doing us any favors. You're getting paid millions of dollars. You're getting paid millions of dollars. Like, we get it. Like, every fight can't, I don't expect him to run a gauntlet, but that's not exactly what he's been doing. I don't give a fuck if the guys he's been fighting have held belts. It's not about that. We know that those guys weren't tough. They were not gonna, they were no threat to beat Canelo. He won't fight anyone who is a threat. He won't fight anyone who is a threat. That's trash to me. That's fucking trash. You know, like, I miss the days when guys wanted to test themselves. That's why, you know, people talk a lot of shit about Anthony Joshua, but you can't take that away from him. He will fight. He fights. He takes the tough fights. Dillian White, they take the tough fights. And if they lose, they just fucking lose. Right? They're not trying to protect a O or one or two losses. They're not doing that. They're going out there and taking the tough fights. And it's like these new millennial bitch ass boxing fans don't even appreciate it. They're gonna sit there and hail Tyson Fury or something. He's not fighting anybody, and these guys are fighting everybody. And Tyson Fury's ducking them. He's ducked both those guys. Tyson Fury ducked both those guys. But he's supposed to be some Spartan, some gladiator. Fuck out of here, man. Fuck out of here. Real recognize real. And a lot of y'all don't recognize shit. So, yeah, there it is. This motherfucker. This motherfucker here. It's time for this guy to gracefully bow out of boxing. I've been saying that. And it's really annoying, because his fuckery has been on full display. You know, he gets away with things, saying shit and doing shit that nobody else would. No other promoter would. Like, he gets up and just starts going on rants, cursing people out. Get him the fuck out of here. Yeah. Like, who the fuck is this old fucking pirate? I mean, he gets up there. Yeah, that's cocksucker. This. What do you call Tiafimo? I'm trying to think what he called him. This schmutz, some shit, some Jewish name, some shit they called him. Like, and I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? He's very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. And he's under, well, it's not a personal lawsuit against him. It's against his company. But it's like this lawsuit comes out. It's like all these weak-minded fucking, these, as Kwame Brown would say, these fucking weak weasels come out of nowhere. Oh, he's not racist. He's like trying to defend the guy. Bro, he has a lawyer. He don't need you